next one we have Dr. Pudding from Kudasai. We expect you to be the translator of today. Alright, next one we have Sasha from Rice. And next we have Yoja from THENA. And last but not least we have Nikita. Yes, please feel free to sit over there. Alright, thank you so much for coming today. And I would love to have a very brief introduction of yourselves to tell our speakers who are you and which project you represent.
Hey, my name is Dr. Pudding. Nice to meet you all, and thanks for having me. It's a great opportunity. And even though I'm a man, but thanks for having me here for the women conferences. So after graduating my finished my graduate studies at Kyoto University, I entered this space in 2016, and now I'm the one of the director of the Kudasai. And Kudasai is calls the biggest community in Japan right now, which has the 20,000 members in Telegram and 19,000 followers in Twitter, and provides the comprehensive growth support for the many companies, including those advisor things and the educations and the community supports. And also our subsidiary called Omakase is now invested by the Nobel Holdings and running the validator nodes for the many blockchains. And it provides the technical things related to those technical sides. Thanks.
My name is Ran. I work for Orbs. I lead business marketing communities and everything that's not finance or dev. I'm a lawyer by trade, although I'm not practicing anymore, which is great for my life. I've been in the space since 2015, with Orbs since 2017. What we do at Orbs is we are a layer 3 for on-chain trading. We provide essentially decentralized backend for DeFi. So we work with DeFi protocols, and essentially we augment what they can do with a fully decentralized stack. THENA is one of our main partners, using essentially all of our different products. It's my third time in Japan. We've been active in this market since 2017, so I am very happy to be here. And also, I'm very attached to my feminine side, just so you know.
Hi everyone, I'm Sasha Mai. I'm a co-founder of a new L2, which is currently the fastest execution L2 in the market. We are a parallel EVM high performance L2, and I know everyone's kind of sick of L2s, but we have exponentially increased throughput and plan to be very future-proof for apps to build on things that can potentially reach mass adoption, with over 100,000 transactions per second for value transfers and over 10,000 transactions per second for Uniswap style swaps. Before that, I was the head of growth in charge of operations, BD, and marketing for Kyber Network and Kyber Swap for 3 years. And before that, I was in Vietnam as a singer, which was the most feminine thing I've ever done, because before that, I was military. So, yeah. Nice to meet you all.
Hello, my name is Yoja, and I'm working for THENA. I'm the APAC lead at THENA Finance, and THENA is basically a decentralized exchange which offering both spot and perpetual trading services via this advanced registration model, which allows our users to vote and claim rewards on a weekly basis. And right now, we're the second largest DEX and BNB chain ecosystem, and this year we're about to release a bunch of new products, Arena, the social trading hub, and also we're gonna introduce our Web3 wallet, the smart wallet, and also the debit card, the card, and also at the end of the year we hope to introduce our Launchpad accelerator, the Warp. And today it's really a great honor for me to be here and to get to know with you guys, and welcome to our event. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nikita. I am a specialist in algorithmic game theory, marketplace design. So basically, I'm really interested in designing marketplaces where we can increase profitability, efficiency, or stability by designing like the transaction fee mechanisms, for example, or just designing certain little UI mechanisms that can change the way that players interact with markets. So there's a lot of progress in the internet marketplaces, and I have been in this crypto space since 2017, and I'm specifically interested in cryptography and ZK, how we can use privacy elements into improving our markets for like long-term stability and profitability.
Thank you so much for our amazing speakers lineup. And since this panel's topic is about the future of blockchains, and we can see that recently there is a mass adoption because of the games on TON blockchains, and I know Orbs also hosted another event with TON the other day as well. So I'm very curious, how do you see the blockchain space over the next 2 years? Of course, I know nobody's gonna know, but we can tell that after the AI, the deeping trend, we got a meme coin season. But afterwards, what do you see would be the most like promising one?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say this. Personally, I'm a very, very strong believer in DeFi specifically. I think at least as of now, DeFi is kind of the killer feature for blockchain. DeFi meaning everything has to do with on-chain trading and the peripherals of on-chain trading. So for me, this is what I believe in. I think NFTs is essentially DeFi. I think like real-world assets is essentially DeFi. So I'm quite focused on that. I think the two main hurdles for better adoption of DeFi as compared to trading, like TradeFi or CeFi, is one, essentially fragmentation. Two is inferior UX. Again, I'm probably not saying anything new here to anyone. I guess that's the main two problems. I would say the solution to both of them is probably aggregation and abstraction. So I think I'm a very strong believer in projects that are solving account abstraction issues, and also that are aggregating different sources, like different liquidity, different coins, different venues into something that's more manageable. Because for users to now interact essentially so many different chains, you need gas tokens, so many different dApps, it's very hard to navigate and do things. But if you can have one wallet that does everything for you, you know, all the technology is just like kind of a way, that would be the best way forward. And that's why we're super focused on those aspects specifically. That's one of the reasons we work with TON as well. But yeah, I spoke a lot. That's my view.
So actually, I think over the next 2 years, we're looking for our kind of killer use case app. I think similarly, I like this quote by Chris Dixon about how the internet basically started, and during the .com bubble, basically, people were wondering what to do with all the extra bandwidth out there, because there was no point in getting emails faster, like a second faster or something. So what was the point? But out of that extra bandwidth came new innovative use cases, such as YouTube, video streaming, stuff like that. So I think with all the innovations going now, such as the data availability with IDDA, as well as execution and state access and stuff, infrastructure is very important, and it's getting to a point now where people can experiment more in the next couple of years with new use cases. And besides that, also, horizontal scaling, dealing with cross-chain solutions as well, because of all the kind of fragmentation due to the lower throughput and the lower, I guess, capacity that we started with. We will see solutions to unify that as well, just like he said.
So we started as a DeFi community, so everyone's looking into the new DeFi products. But for this, so next 2 years, for the infrastructure side, many of them have interest in the restaking side, like Huion Layer and the Baron. we operate those two operators, but there's a possibility that they will make the yields to the $1.6 trillion for those markets, and that will bring the many institutional things to players to this market, and that will also create many users to come here because the market will rise and will get a good reputation, then people will come. And for user side, as they said, we need some kind of the application that everyone could easily get into this field because there's too many chains arising recently. I don't know where to go, and he said so the liquidity is so divided, so we need to connect that into one place and make it easier. So in Japan, now the many Web2 companies trying to get into the Web3 field, and even the one of the biggest mobile company, telecom company, announced that they're making their wallets. And I heard that the Sony Group have bought their exchanges. So now the bigger companies trying to make their own infrastructure and trying to make the building products. So now I'm personally looking forward to those big companies to provide the newer products for the mass in the next 2 years.
So it's like my Grammy can also use watching the future, like what you say? Okay, and how about Yoja? How do you think?
Well, look 2 years ahead. I think we will just welcome a even more intense bull market. I know it is all about the cycles. We all benefiting. We are all benefiting and maybe sometimes suffering from the market cycles. But as a participant of the industry, I still want to believe that there's gonna be a bigger bull market because that is the timing where the Web2 users, the fresh blood, could actually enter into the Web3 industry. And we are the true believer of the beauty of the DeFi and crypto. I just really hope to see that more and more people could actually find out and discover the allure of the DeFi and crypto.
So next 2 years in Japan, I don't like to speculate on the markets at all. I think there's a huge need for specialists, and what we will see in the next 2 years is an emergence of more and more specialists coming out of university who have dedicated, 5 years to studying cryptography or a certain element of computer science. And I think that, the Ethereum Foundation just started the cohort for the ZK proofs just last year. And so we're going to see these students coming out of the cryptography cohort slowly coming out and really kind of filling the gaps where the industry is lacking kind of some substance and some real kind of usability. So I definitely think that there is going to be an emergence of these specialists, but I also think that the demand for these specialists it will exceed supply. I think there's so much room for more people to really dig deep into specific things in the blockchain. You don't have to learn everything, just be an expert in this one domain, whether it's CBDCs or ZK or layer 2s, or just choose something and then be really, really good at it. And I really do think that there will be a lot of demand for this.
Alright, thanks everyone for sharing. And also another question that I should be asking before this question is what made you join crypto and what made you interested in continue to build? I guess that's always the questions that audience want to know more about it. You want to answer first?
Okay. Well, it's been 8 years, so I entered in crypto in 2016, so my memory is burned up. So, but I was looking forward to the future of the new money, the system that will break the wall of the country and the bank. What I want to say is that the transferring the money to the other countries so hurt everybody. There's so high barrier to that. And if we can connect to the global people more easily, that will continue to the peace. I thought the world peace, so that's the reason I entered this crypto space. So yeah, at that time I believe in Bitcoin. I just know the Bitcoin and just looking into it from the.
For me, it was about the money.
I like your honesty.
No, seriously, to me, it just happened. I was a lawyer practicing 2015, and I had a client who just raised some money in Bitcoin and wanted to ask me, okay, how do we convert this into dollars? And I was like, okay, what's Bitcoin? And that's kind of how I got into the ecosystem. Yeah, for me, it's just about innovation, doing more things that's interesting, having, this technology that can be transformative. You do, like once you're in crypto and you get used to it, you do like normal banking stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I moved countries. I moved from Israel to the UK, and I had to transfer funds and stuff, but it takes a week. And you pay USDC, it's like, it's like 20 seconds. So then you understand how much stuff doesn't really make sense and how much space you have for innovation. So that's what's mostly exciting for me, and the money.
So for me, I'm kind of like a vigilante in a sense. Like I run this big community of like 150,000 members in Vietnam, and there are often like bad actors. So for example, there was a crypto scammer. So I took it upon myself to chase this crypto scammer down and basically get him blacklisted from the country. And in the process, I met with like the founder of Kyber Network, and he helped me there. He turned around and actually offered me a job, and I was like, is it a scam? I was very confused, but I ended up meeting the founder of one of the most reputable crypto projects, actually, so it was kind of lucky. And then I continued my scammer chasing, hacker chasing career when Kyber was exploited for $50 million. I handled most of the exploit aftermath for 4 months, and I think one of the most exciting points of my career was when Zach XBT followed me on Twitter. I was really excited about that. But besides that, I do a lot of media growth as well, and I find it very fun. The crypto market and industry, it's just very exciting. You get stressed out, you get gray hairs and stuff, but it's worth it. Nothing's more exciting than it.
For me, my story was more personal because after my graduation, I was looking for new opportunities, and I listened to this educational podcast who introduces about crypto, which that's where you could work, but you don't have to go to the office every day, and you got all the flexibility and freedom. And then I was just looking for some jobs online, and I happened to met this media company, and where I get to learn all things from scratch. And then I met my THENA team in a crypto event, and I just got along with the team, and I was just convinced by what they're building, and that's why I joined THENA team. And then I met Claire and also our CMO. We work really closely and cohesively, and today we're just building, and we're going to launch a bunch of new products, and it's just been a journey for me.
So I got started, my first undergraduate degree, I majored in politics, and one of my classes we were covering the Mt. Gox exchange bankruptcy, which actually happened here in Tokyo, and I just went on an obsessive rabbit hole research, and I was obsessed for about 6 months, but even after these 6 months of kind of digging down the crypto rabbit hole, I still didn't understand what a wallet was, which is now looking back so basic, but it was so confusing at the time, because I think wallet is a big misnomer, but it's a separate conversation. But I was so confused, so I started going to these little meetups in my hometown, and it was a bunch of guys at a pub, and maybe 3 or 4 guys, and I just literally learned by osmosis. I just sat there and pretended to know what they were talking about half the time, and then maybe ask a dumb question here and there, and then I just, after going a few times regularly and chatting and grip and understanding of it. But yeah, luckily the guys were really respectful and great guys. So just try to find someone trustworthy and tag along. And I think learning by osmosis is actually a real thing. So yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing. It's very inspiring. For me, it's like made the first millionaire and then broke and then million and then broke. It's like the simulations again and again in crypto. But I found it very interesting, you know, just to stay in the space and connect to people. And I just want to say, remote working. How come you can find a job in Web2 that allows you to work fully remote and you can go travel around the world and meet people, connect with fans when you have a job in Web2? So it's so hard to find that. But in like Web3, you don't have to wear like suits. You can wear whatever you want when you're going to a conference. Nobody's gonna judge you for that. And then you can also do whatever you like, just whatever you like. If you're a developer, you're an artist, you can always find a spot in Web3. So I found it very fascinating, and that's why I'm continuing doing it as well. And also following up to another question I'm asking, I kind of forgot, but I'm trying to get back on it. Is that what's the project that you're building about, and also how do you think that people like over here or like in the Web3 in general can contribute to it? Let's say if I'm first into crypto or if I'm in Web3 for a long time, I want to contribute to be the part of the community. How can I do that?
Well, actually, we're the community, so it's so totally free. So you can join from now. If you want, just open the Telegram and join, please. But it's Japanese community, so it's a bit difficult. But so for the job in Japan, if you can speak Japanese and English, there's so many spots. You can work it right now. From right now, you can find a job. So if there's somebody who wants to work in Japan, please ask me.
So what we build, as I've said, is we build essentially a decentralized backend infrastructure for DeFi protocols. So the best way to get involved with us is be a DeFi team protocol and use our technology and be in touch, like THENA and others do. And if you're not a developer, you're not building, you still want to get involved, then probably the best way to contribute and be around is be a part of the validating ecosystem. So essentially, our network is delegated proof of stake, which means top players can run a validator. Those who don't have enough equity to run a validator, they can delegate. And there's really nice delegation communities. We have a concept of what we call a guardian, which is somebody who runs a validator node but also has a community. We have one of our validators back there, Eric. So one of the best ways to get involved is to become, a member of one of those communities, whether financially invest or just be around, go to meetups, participate, talk to people, get involved, and that's the engine that essentially powers a project. So that's the best way to get involved, and we appreciate people who do that.
I mostly mentioned in my intro where basically the fastest upcoming L2 right now. You want to be future-proof when you launch apps now. You don't want to kind of launch in an ecosystem that will be your bottleneck in a sense, especially as you're getting bigger and getting more traction. So I think high-performance EVM is still a good narrative. And if you want to build, we're new. We announced ourselves less than 2 months ago. So if you want to work, we're hiring and stuff. So there's a lot of things to be involved with when it comes to a huge ecosystem. But anyways, I love giving advice and stuff. So if it's about anything in crypto, you can talk to me.
So I'm just gonna introduce a little bit about THENA. So basically, we're a decentralized exchange. So you could do spot trading, perpetual trading, and besides that, because we are research model, this model allows our users to vote and claim rewards on a weekly basis. So basically, you can go to our platform and take a few seconds to vote, and on Thursday you can claim your rewards. That's pretty easy. And we also have so many other ways to incentivize our users. For example, you could be liquidity provider to earn passive income. And also we have this ongoing daily campaigns to continuously incentivize and reward our users. Basically, you could generate original contents within our community, because if you go to our Discord community, you can see that we really have a really valuable and loyal community, because they never cease to amaze us by supporting each other, by helping each other out, or by generating their own content about THENA. Some of the community members, they even become KOLs, and THENA is their very first project in this space. So if you want to interact with us, you just go to our Twitter, our Discord community, and there's so many ways to explore.
So I can't talk about the projects I'm working on right now, but I can talk in general, and especially to the woman looking, a lot of you already working in the industry, but at least from what I'm seeing from an economic perspective, what's going to be happening in the future. I think especially in terms of regulation and reputation in the blockchain space, there will be, we're dealing with anonymous or pseudonymous identities and a large amount of transactions. So one specific example would be, my professor just released a paper saying that there are 2 agents that can engage in a court system without knowing each other and credibly transact with each other and make a deal. So instead of going to a courthouse or suing one another, they can literally do that all through a smart contract, which is great if you're a business. There's a lot of less legal fees involved and externalities, but that also means black market people can use it. People who are living in different countries don't know each other. A lot of gangs, they rely on physical threats or credible threats or knowing each other to kind of transact with one another and drugs and whatnot. And so having the smart contract mechanism, even though it has some great benefits, it's also going to be used by some bad players. So if you think about what's going to happen next, is we need people working in the legal space who are really familiar with blockchain technology, who are really good at developing, able to read code, and I think there is a lack of talent. So for the women out there, I know it's very intimidating to get into the space, and everyone seems really smart. My message is people are a lot less smart than they seem, and just the sky is the limit. There's so much that needs to be done, and there is a real lack of talent.
Thanks for sharing. So I totally agree with you on that. And so going back to Japan, so I'm wondering, how do you see the Web3 status, the adoptions in Japan? So what are some of the opportunities or challenges that you're facing right now?
Well, actually, in 2017 and 18, there were so many crypto frauds, ICO scams in Japan. So many people think that the crypto is a scam. But recently, the government changed their mind, and the crypto is a scam, but the Web3 is good. And last year there was a event called WebEx in Japan. And the Prime Minister sent a video letter to the WebEx at opening remarks. So that now the government is so bullish to the Web3 fields. And so last year, the many Web2 companies are trying to get into this Web3 field and trying to publish their own products. So still, now I think it's kind of the bear market right now. So not the retail users are coming, but after those Web2 companies publish their own products, maybe more users will come eventually. And Yeah, and as I said, the telecom company is now announced their own wallets. Like that, many major companies will publish their own products. And also, the Web2 companies try to get into the Web3 field, but they know nothing about the Web3. So we made a community for the Web2 companies, and we put emphasis on the education. So we do monthly offline events in real and teaching them providing them the cutting edge, latest information about crypto, what is going on in the global market, and teaching what is blockchain, what is small scale blockchain, blah blah. Only in Tokyo. If there's some demands, please tell me. Thanks.
So specifically for Japan, I think Japan was actually one of the first jurisdictions to actually accept Bitcoin as a means of payment, point of sale. Like back as 2015, it was at least, for us it was always, in Japan they accept Bitcoin, they already accept Bitcoin. It was like a big thing everybody was talking about. Unfortunately, after a coin check and then some stuff that happened, I feel like less and less people are holding crypto or interacting with crypto, so I think Japan kind of lost its lead in that space. But I feel now, at least it feels from the ground, from being here, from speaking to people, maybe now is the time, regulations opening up, more exchanges, Sony buying exchanges, SoftBank buying exchanges. So maybe now is the time we'll see more growth in Japan. This is what I hope. And at least in my opinion, like I speak to people in Japan this week. A lot of people are talking about these Web2 companies that are going to come in. It's going to change a lot. Honestly, I believe it's not going to change anything. Like us expecting the Web2 companies to come and save us and adopt, like they're the ones with the least incentive to adopt this new technology. But I do feel that companies working here are Japanese founders, and I think this is where we're going to see the innovation from. So if you ask me, I'll be betting on the small startups, but I feel like the appetite is there, and at least, and I'm sorry if I'm making like a big diplomatic incident here, but at least that people from the outside is sometimes like they perceive like Japanese people being like very obedient or very like. But I feel like talking to people, I do feel there's a lot of like people actually pushing the boundaries, trying to make a change, trying to introduce new things. So I'm bullish about that, and I think we're going to see more of that coming.
Yeah, one thing I'm especially excited about in the Japanese market is Japan has a really good fan culture. Like people here are the most committed fans ever. Like you just go to any concert and you see the fanfare is nothing else. So I don't know much about this industry personally, but I just see there's a few fan nation companies coming up with NFTs and kind of gaming embedded into it. And I think that if there's anywhere to launch a fan nation company, it's Japan. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens. If they can execute well, I think that's a really exciting space.
In addition, recently we see that many gaming companies are now releasing their own Web3 games right now. And many people say that bringing IP to Web3 is a good way to bring people. But it's very hard to bring those big IPs in this field because of so many restrictions. But now that those gaming companies release their games and they're collaborating with some IPs, in that way, maybe those kind of the next version will come. So yes, so maybe many gaming companies will release their product this year, and that will be maybe the first one in the Web2 company's entry. Names. So there's for example, one of the mobile game company called Joy-Con. They made. Have you heard of the One Piece anime? They launched the One Piece mobile game in Web2, and they made their, some games called Wizardry for the Web3. And yes, they launched last year. And this year, have you heard of Green? It's a famous Web2 company, and they launched some kind of fishing games, mobile casual games, recently. So that many gaming companies are trying to release their products. So that's maybe the first entry, as I said. So they're trying to get in.
All right, now let's take some questions from the crowd. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hands, or if you want to have anything you want to add on, feel free to hit some mic as well. Is there any question from the crowd? We did got one from our previous panels. Is there anyone have any questions about insight in Japan's market? We have criticized and also here. Or if you have any questions about blockchain in general? No? Alright, I guess that's it for today's panel. Thank you so much for today. And let's take a group picture together, shall we? With all the speakers and audience together.